As you've heard today, higher education in this state is undergoing a remarkable transformation. Our next speaker has already contributed much to the journey today, first as provost of Rowan University, and now as president. It's a pleasure for me to introduce Dr. Ali Houshmand.
Good morning. I apologize for this shoulder injury. I guess, was it Friedrich Nietzsche, the German philosopher, once said, "What doesn't kill you weakens you and kills you later." So I suppose we'll see what will happen later on. It was 3 years ago, almost exactly 3 years ago, that we had a meeting in the boardroom of Cooper Medical School, Cooper Hospital, with the leadership of the hospital and our leadership talking about the creation of medical school. And it was remarkable when I was sitting in there as a newly hired, almost 3 years in my career at Rowan, that the speed with which the leadership of Rowan embraced the idea and he said, yes, we are ready. And then upon further reflection, I realized that it was 20 years ago where an industrialist named Henry Rowan gave $100 million to Rowan to change it from a small teacher college and turn it into the institution that it is by asking it to build an engineering college. Engineering colleges are complicated. It requires a tremendous amount of resources, infrastructure, laboratories, and faculty members in order to build a good engineering college. And the Rowan community embraced that, and 10 years later, the engineering college was nationally ranked, and today is ranked top 16th in the nation in undergraduate education, with every one of its programs are top 10, and chemical engineering number 3. And it was only 3 years ago when we started the $300 million public-private partnership with the Borough of Glassboro to build Rowan Boulevard. And if you go there right now, you see the buildings, the infrastructure, the facilities that have been built, and the ones that are being built. It's absolutely remarkable to see Sleepy Town State Institution transform itself to what it is. All of these things speaks to one very important point, and that is change, where George mentioned that. Change is something that is very foreign to higher education, unfortunately. The joke is, you ask a 10-year faculty, how many of you does it take to change a light bulb? The answer is, says, oh my God, change? We don't like change. Yet, when you come to Rowan, we embrace it. And we embraced it during all this debate past 6 or 7 months that were first the idea of merger with Rutgers Camden, and eventually the legislation that passed. All along, anything that was proposed, Rowan community and Rowan leadership embraced it and said yes. To the point that some people started thinking that maybe we are a bunch of desperate people, that whatever they give us, we say yes. That wasn't the case. We really believe in change. And this country, the higher education in this country, desperately needs change. The fact of the matter is the higher education in this country is broken. It's utterly broken. Institutions are large. They've got huge deferred maintenance. They've got huge debts. The amount of indebtedness of the graduates of the schools are skyrocketing. It's now $1 trillion. And we cannot continue business as usual. And the only way we can revive and revitalize the higher education in this country is through comprehensive change. And for that, I want to thank Governor Christie, Mr. Norcross, Senator Sweeney, Senator Norcross, and all the other leadership of the state sitting in here, who embraced change, who imposed on us change. And the reason that we all along agreed and supported whatever threw at us was not because we wanted to merge or take over Rutgers Camden. We never did. We had highest regard for Rutgers Camden. It was never us trying to kind of take over another institution or change their name or change their culture or change the way they do things. None of that was the case. For me and for us, it was the idea of imposing change. Because left to our own devices, we would have never implemented change. And for that, we are where we are today. We now have a legislation that is hopefully will be signed by the governor soon, and then the work begins. And I promise you, 10 years from now, the people who are looking at Camden's Glassboro, Rowan, Rutgers Camden, Collier Institute, you will not recognize it. I promise you, we will re-engineer the new 21st century of the university for the rest of the country to follow and to learn from. Just as Senator Sweeney said that the people in Maryland are asking, how did you do it? We're going to teach the rest of the world how you re-engineer university. We're going to do that. And that And if you look at the situation that we are in today, where, especially in our region, southern New Jersey, where for every 100 citizens, there is only one undergraduate seats, and the average for the nation is 31-1. That is, for every 31 citizens and throughout this country, there is one seat. We are looking at 80,000 seats in here. We only have 25. We are short 55,000, 56,000. And we're going to make that. And we're going to make that not relying on the state to bankroll us. Those days are over. We need to start being much more efficient. We need to start being much more frugal. We need to start learning how to do more with what we got. The days where you stay and you wait until the taxpayer come and bankroll you and let you build whatever you want or increase the tuition whatever you want are over as far as we are concerned, as far as Rowan is concerned. And I promise you, we will do everything we can to provide the highest quality education to as many citizens of this great state as possible with the minimum price. That is the promise that we will give you. And I'm so delighted today is the start of that day. This medical school, nobody ever thought that we can make it. And in 2 years, when the LCME came in here, when the accreditation exit happened, and I was sitting here, I was dumbfounded. I have never been to an accreditation exit interview where they gave us so much accolades, not a single fault, and nobody believed that we could do it. We were called glorified high school, or we were called Rowan. People go to Rowan, they don't pay tuition, they pay cover charge. Well, let me tell you, today, come and look at us. Today, this year, we have the largest class, and our average SAT is 1,200. That's the result. We are going to enhance our access by working very closely with the county colleges. There are 7 county colleges in the southern New Jersey with 54,000 students. We're going to work with them as closely as possible to reduce costs, to provide more opportunities. We're going to create the graduate programs like medicine, like dentistry, like pharmacy, like law, so that the best and brightest of the 35 high school kids that are leaving the state these days to acquire education elsewhere stay here, seek it, stay here, and become productive taxpayers. That is my promise to you. Thank you very much for being here, and I'm so delighted for today.